I hear a lot of photographers talking about niching down, focus on weddings, focus on corporate business, focus on portraits. Let's talk about the real truth about niching down. So when you're doing photography in this day and age, 2025, I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't believe in niching down. Now, if you're not a full-time photographer and you still got your safety net, I mean, you're 9 to 5, then you can niche down and focus on one thing because this is probably your supplemental income. But when you're full-time, I believe you have to focus on making sure that you're maintaining all of your eggs within that basket. You need to know what your bread and butter is. Now, if that's weddings, great. You can focus on weddings, but that doesn't mean you shun away portrait photography or headshot photography or corporate events. You can put all of your eggs in that wedding basket, but you need to be prepared for those slow seasons and wedding season by going out and getting to the bag when you get into corporate events or headshot photography. Now, you need to be mindful about how you are approaching your business. Now, for me, I look at my photography business as all-inclusive. We are able and capable to do all of the things that you may need in the photography and video space, and we are open and available to you. So there's always projects coming in that give me the opportunity to raise revenue in my business. So what that looks like is wedding season is typically very busy around October, but headshot season may slow down. But in January, you may see more people doing rebranding. So now I'm doing portrait work and company photography, and this opens up my opportunities to keep income flowing year round. Now, if you're working this photography business as a side hustle to your 9 to 5, you're still in the corporate space or working in your job, then I get it. You can niche down, you can focus on weddings, do your thing. But when you're going full time, you're going to need that income to be padded year round. And so that looks like being smart and strategic about how you're showing up to create opportunities. And in a lot of these different spaces, they have different ways of creating opportunities. So for weddings, it may mean going out to more wedding showcases at different venues. For corporates, it may look like doing more sales. For portraits, it may be social media advertising. So you have to be mindful to continue to maintain a healthy mix in order to keep your business growing and flowing throughout the year. Niching down makes you focused in one area, which brings me to my second point. It can also cause creative burnout. Now I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Back in 2022, actually, was it 22, 21, 22? I believe it was 22. Back in 2022, I was a wedding photographer to the core. I believed that the wedding industry is how photographers make money, and this is how we cover our spread and take care of ourselves. With weddings at that time, I was making thousands of dollars per wedding, and I was like, this is my bread and butter. This is how I eat, how I pay my bills. And so I was all in. In that year, I did 52 weddings between myself and my team members. We covered the spread. It was a great year. By the end of that year, I never wanted to shoot another wedding again. I love is incredible, but I was burned out. The following year, I think I dwindled down to about 15 weddings. And currently, I'm shooting maybe 10 a year. But I pivoted. I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I pivoted. I started doing corporate work, and I've loved it there because every time you go into a corporate situation, there's something different. Now, your deliverables may be very similar. You kind of know what you're getting when you go in, but you're going to be able to get creative and see new things because you're going to different cities and all of the things. So it makes it a lot more fun. With weddings, 80% of weddings are pretty much the same each time. Like there are going to be some little changes and nuances, maybe a different ceremony or something like that. Like a little, here we're going to jump a broom, here we're going to tie a knot, just, little things like that. But for the most part, they're pretty formulaic when you have done enough of them. I've been shooting weddings since about 2010. So at that point, I'm like, I've probably seen 100 of these, and it's like, I'm good. But that burnout led to another opportunity. Now for you, I would say if you're going full time, you don't want to burn yourself out from what you think is going to be your long term. You don't want to be burned out on doing portraits or weddings because then once you're burned out, you're not going to want to put the energy behind continuing forward and making the money to keep your business sustainable. So be mindful of that. Like sometimes you want to give yourself opportunities to be more creative in different spaces just to keep the brain excited about the business. Like it's a relationship at the end of the day. So you want to stay married to your vision for the business. And then finally on niching down, for me, I see slower business growth. Like a lot of people dominate certain markets. Like we're talking about weddings. You usually have the same 2 or 3 photographers in the city who are shooting all of the weddings. You've got people who are, probably years ahead of you getting into the corporate game. So it kind of hinders you to put all your eggs in one basket, because then you're focused on being successful at that basket, but you're also looking at competitors and things around you and saying like, I'm behind the 8 ball. When you're casting your net wide, sometimes you find an opportunity out there that shows itself to say like, hey, you could be the expert in this. This could be your niche down the line. But for right now, it's giving you opportunity to kind of see like, where do I fit in this big world of content creation? And so you want to be mindful of that. It could be slow for opportunity. It could be slow for growth of your business. Sometimes when you're niching down and you're in one specific business, because there are already players in that market, it also hinders your word of mouth or people looking to find you and work with you as a new business owner. So you want to just be mindful of those things as you're looking to continue to grow your business. Like niching down has its advantages and it has its drawbacks. And so for me, I'm spreading the net wide. I want to get as much money on the board as possible. I'm ready to work in any capacity that you guys may need, whether that be photo booths or weddings, or you want to rent the studio or what have you. I'm trying to make sure that we're running money through the business at all times so that we're having those multiple 6-figure years and, the business is growing and doing great things. And so as we're growing, let's grow together, man. Make sure y'all continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on the channel. As always, brand responsibly. We out here at Greenwood Code, man. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.